A boss mom doesn't allow society to tell her that her goals no longer matter. She handles her business both inside and outside of the home. Welcome to the Bawse Mom Movement Podcast with me, your host, Ashley White, where you'll hear me speak with millennial moms who have not allowed the title mom to stop them from achieving their goals. During this podcast series, we'll discuss how we balance it all and other mom-related topics. It's a space for all my bossy mamas, whether you're an entrepreneur, mama in corporate, or both. Being a boss mom isn't easy, but it's our lifestyle. So with that being said, all right, boss moms, let the movement begin. Hey, boss moms, welcome back for another episode of the Bawse Mom Movement Podcast with your host, Ashley White. And today I have a special guest with me, Miss Blessin McCoy Thompson. She is an entrepreneur and mom, and she is here to tell us about how we can experience luxury by automating our life as a mom. So I'm super excited to jump into this topic. But before we get into it, I want to give her the opportunity to introduce herself.
Hey, boss moms, how y'all doing today? Such a pleasure to be on the show, Ashley. Thank you for having me. She gave y'all my whole government. Jesus. But anywho, I am Blessin Destiny McCoy Thompson, and I am a mom of a 3-year-old king. My little Sagittarius baby, we're both Sagittarius, full-time entrepreneur. And yeah, I just enjoyed meeting Ashley, and I felt like this would be a good podcast to be on because motherhood is really what propelled me in my entrepreneurship and really helped make me a better woman. So I'm so here to drop the gems and share with you all everything that I've been doing, I've been learning, how I still live a glamorous, full life as a mom while pouring into my son. He's not missing a beat. I'm not missing a beat. So I'm just an advocate for moms still having a full life and enjoying themselves just as much as the kids.
Absolutely. And you do a good job at it. So before we jump into questions and all of that great stuff, I just want to say, Ms. Blessin, when you see her, because one thing that she does talk about is business funding, but she looked like money every time. I'm literally like the bombest green outfits. Like I'll be looking at your stories like, oh my gosh, like where do you find all this green, honey?
Girl, listen, I'm so obsessed. Like this was never what I envisioned or imagined for myself. And now I'm like, I have to wear green every day. I'll go to anybody's store, online store, and I'll just type in green in the search. And everything that comes up, I'm getting it.
I'm talking about walking brand. Okay. Like that is the way to do it in style, right?
Yes. Even this robe is my robe. This is the money manifestation robe. Okay. And I sell this as well. So I'm always in a place of expectancy and manifesting at all times.
Absolutely. And when we actually met at a networking conference that was hosted here in Atlanta. So one thing that I really appreciated, because you were on the panel and you were coming and speaking, because I feel like every time you get into a networking situation, like people are always nervous to talk, whether it be to the attendees or to the people that are speaking on panels or workshops. And so one thing I really appreciated is like you came and sat and talked to us, because I know I was shy. I'm like, okay, I got to get out of my bubble and talk to people. And you just came out the gate, and I appreciated that so much. Like just that confidence too. And that is definitely something that I like to bring to the audience and instill in others, is just walking in the room and being confident. So I appreciate you for that.
And you're welcome, Queen. And sometimes I'm not even confident, but I do believe I'm here and I have to maximize the opportunity. Am I shy walking up to the tables and introducing myself? The answer is yes, but it's like fear. When you feel it, you got to do it anyway. When am I going to meet the exact people that was in that room again? Maybe never. So this time I have to let you guys know who I am. I need to see who you ladies are. And if I had not done that, we wouldn't be here today.
Absolutely. So I definitely appreciate it and learned something from that moment, because I think another thing too that stood out is that you were on the panel. You know what I mean? And like sometimes when you go to events, like you never even talk to the people who are actually there to drop the gems. Like, you're just there listening. So it was definitely a pleasure to even just to get to talk to you and learn about what you do. And then have this opportunity to talk to you again on the show. So I appreciate it. And I want to lead into just going into what you do as an entrepreneur.
Yes, I want to piggyback off of that really fast. I go to a lot of networking events where I'm usually not the one speaking. And
Mhm.
I just believe in giving at all times what you want to receive back. And I just remember leaving these rooms like, dang, I came here to meet such and such. Dang, I came here to ask this question. And I have to leave home and not have those things. So, again, wherever I am, I just try to maximize the opportunity. And I just try to put myself in everyone's shoes and literally how would I want to be treated. And I just
Right.
give that energy. And once it's karma, whatever I give, I have to receive back. So I just make sure I'm always giving the best vibes that I possibly can. All right. Just had to
Absolutely.
say that one note. And then your question was, what is it that I do technically?
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I actually own an accident referral service. So if you're here in Georgia, especially, you're probably familiar with like 411 Pain. They're not an attorney. They are a referral service. So same with me. I'm not an attorney. I offer a service of referral. So once you contact your accident, your money, we hear what you have going on and we place you with different attorneys in our network based off of your accident, whether it's a tractor trailer, whether it's a normal hit, whether it's low impact, whether it's lots of property damage, because every lawyer is not created equal. So you want to make sure that you have the right type of attorney on your case that's going to maximize your situation. The same with your doctor. So I form partnerships just with any and everybody that I possibly can. Even you,
Mhm.
just being on your show, like anybody, if you know of anyone in an accident, send them our way and we will help them get paid, and we'll also pay you for the referral. So that is what I do for a living. And then I
Okay.
also, that started from me being in the paralegal space, being in the marketing space for attorneys, and just when I got pregnant with my son now 4 years ago, I can't believe this. The schedule just was not conducive for motherhood. So I was
Mhm.
literally working at this one particular office maybe a good 7 years. And I was that girl who probably in 7 years took 7 lunch breaks in total in seven
Okay.
years. So when it came down to me now, I'm having to go to my doctor's appointments, and y'all looking at me like you're not back in an hour. I'm like, bruh, I've given you 7 years of my life with no lunch breaks. I need
Right.
more. But don't worry, because I don't like begging and I don't like asking people things over and over again. You know clearly what I've done. And if I have to explain that to you, I'm not being valued. And God just kept putting it on my heart that I'm going to carry you. I'm going to carry you. I was telling
Mhm.
you to leave this job even before you got pregnant. But now I made you pregnant, so you have to leave the job. And that's
Right.
literally how I got started.
That is so interesting because I always like to wonder what even entices people to leave the job. Like, what was your sign? And I mean, for you, it was your son. Like, look, sometimes God got to show us in different ways. Like, I told you to do this, you ain't listening to me.
Yes, yes. I said, God, you're going to have to do it because I'm not. The money was just really good. I hadn't made money like that before. I'm not an attorney and I'm making attorney money.
Mhm.
So I was afraid to leave. But motherhood is just something my mom didn't play with. It's just something her mother didn't play with. So God knew it was going to be something I didn't play with. If anything was going to make me level up, it was going to be that.
Yeah, and I could absolutely agree with that. Even though I was like scared going into motherhood because I was like, oh no, this isn't the right time. But just looking back now, I mean, it's been a little over a year now, and it was like, this is definitely the blessing that I needed. He gave me, so many more things that I could just be proud of. Like, just, I don't know, it's just like weird because it was just like, dang, this is something that you didn't even think you were ready for at that moment. Just to now reflect and be like, it was the exact moment, the
It's
exact
crazy how
time.
that
And
works. It's crazy how
right,
it works. Yes.
exactly. So, what was your thoughts going into entrepreneurship? Like, did you have a plan? Did you kind of know which direction you wanted to go? Like, what did that look like for you?
So no, I didn't have a plan, and right now there is a trend going around that people really want to be an entrepreneur. That
Mhm.
was never really a desire. I didn't mind it happening, but I'm also by nature a worker bee. I love working. I don't care who I'm working for, as long as you and I make the agreement that you're gonna pay me this If you pay me that on time, I'm showing up. So really, it just fell in my lap. I'm so grateful to God that it did, because it's the thing I didn't know that I wanted. So now that I'm able to like just make my own schedule and just travel and just do what I want to do when I want to do it, and not have to ask anyone anything, is so liberating. It's like real freedom. So if I ever had to work, I know some of my friends have said they are just non-employable. I would love to say that, because I do love this freedom, but again, that wasn't my mindset. It literally was just something that God kind of put in my lap. And how I was telling you all earlier, how you do anything is how you do everything. When I've been working for people since I was 12, probably, I always gave them my best. So I always got promoted. I always got raises. I always was seen. So that's why I never really had a problem in the workforce, because I've always been valued. But also just having that energy for others, I have that energy for myself. So where there's a lot of people who probably want to sleep in or take the day off, you might see me on vacation, but trust and believe I probably got up at 5 o'clock, did at least 3 to 4 hours worth of work, so I can make it to the beach by 12. So just having that energy, no matter where you are, is going to make, if you desire to be that entrepreneur, it's going to make it that much easier for you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel like that's how I am as well, because I didn't have that mindset. Like, even though I'm not a full-time entrepreneur now, but still having side businesses, I was like, you know what? That's like, I 100% believe some people can do entrepreneurship and some people are good in the workforce. Like, you got to have both anyway to make the world spin. So I'm like, for me, I'm like, the workforce is definitely my lane. I'm like, entrepreneurship, but now stepping more into it, I'm just like, you know what? This isn't so bad, you know?
It's not so
but
bad
definitely having that background, I feel too, in the workforce, like, helps me be a little bit more structured. Like, is that something that you feel like you experience as well, just coming out of the workforce and getting into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer. Look, if you can do it, what we call it, the white man, baby, you got to be able to do it for yourself. Like, you are your number one priority. Go hard for you. And again, if you're just already in the energy of going hard, it's a natural transition. So that's what helped me. Just always just having a spirit of excellence. Like, these people pay me what I've asked them to pay me. I need to deliver what they asked me to deliver. It's a fair exchange. If you just treat people the way you want to be treated, usually you get that back in return.
Right. So I wanted to talk about automation. I feel like that is something I keep seeing from different coaches, and how to automate just like your business. And it essentially, I guess, helps automate your life. How do you feel like you have automation in your business, or what does that exactly mean for people that may not exactly understand?
Yes, it can mean several different things. A lot of times people or coaches are speaking of systems, and then a lot of time they're speaking of just other people doing the job. So automation for me more right now is other people doing the job, being very good at delegation, finding affordable help in other countries, just making it make sense. So just taking as much off of my plate. Now that I am a mom, I'm still a workaholic, I'm still a worker bee, but there's just so much more time now I have to invest, and I want to invest in being a good mother. So now all those tasks that I used to do without a problem, I just don't have the time and be a good mom at the same time. So I joined this one networking group of people, and they taught me about virtual assistants. So from there, I started experimenting with hiring different virtual assistants. And that helped my business out tremendously, because where I would have one American worker, I would pay them $5. I would pay them $15 an hour. I'm now able to hire a virtual assistant and get 3 of them at $5 an hour. And now I have triple the output compared to the one. And then if you just have been paying attention to the hiring process lately in America anyway, it's just really hard finding good help. So the mindset of these foreigners is one of, I want to help you. I don't want to make any mistakes. My best salesman was sick last week, and I had my phone on Do Not Disturb the first time, forgot to do it this time. My best salesman was sick last week, and he should have felt in his heart that I would never fire him. He's literally my best salesman. But his mindset around it and his gratitude around it and his compassion, like, boss, I'm so sorry I can't make it to work today. Like, it was just so, I'm like, just feel better. Your job isn't going anywhere. You're good. But he was just trying his best to still perform. And I just feel like we don't get that energy so much anymore hiring Americans unless you severely overpay them. And even in the law firms I'm working in, even that has been challenging. Like, we've paid you exactly what you've asked for. You got the salary and you're still calling in. There's just still so many issues. But you're either going to pay with your time or you're going to pay with your money. And I like to be smart with my time. And if I have the money, I'd rather pay. Like doing laundry at my house, it probably will take me 2 hours, 3 hours to just do the laundry and fold it. So what ends up happening, I wash it. That's not a problem. But then I dry it. That's not a problem. But then it sits in the basket forever and ever and ever. So now when I need something to wear or my son needs something to wear, I got to go dig in it. I just rather get on TaskRabbit.com, hire me some help. She comes through. She folds all my laundry. She folds all of his laundry. I have to pay about $60, $80 to do it. But now I know exactly where everything is. I'm saving time. Yeah. So just little hacks like that is a lifesaver. Saturdays, I will usually get up and clean up my house. I could be at the park with my son. I'm going to pay somebody to do that. Yeah. So that's what my automation is, but it's either systematic or delegation or both. So my next chapter will be more, now that I have the help, getting proper systems to be even more effective than I am now.
Right. No, I love that. And it's definitely something that I'm kind of venturing off into now. I feel like with some of my like my travel business, I have more so the systems that are just automated. Okay, I could put these templates in, boom, 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 it's all gonna go when I schedule it to. But it's the other delegation task that is hard for me because I'm such like a control freak when it comes to certain things, and I'm trying to let go of that. But like you said, be smart about that time. If you have
once you start, because so for me, I was like, all right, I'm gonna give them A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I keep H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P. I love these tasks. I can get rid of these tasks. I'm a workaholic. I'm a control freak. I'm keeping these. Girl, once I gave them those and the freedom that started to create, I was like, y'all can have the whole alphabet. Like whatever. I think I got X, Y, Z left. Whatever I can hand over. And once you start handing it over, you're going to change your whole mind. You're going to be like, what more can I give them to do? Because you just don't need to do it.
Right. No, that's 100% true. And that's where I'm trying to get, because like you said, being a mom, it's like I do work a 9 to 5, which is already draining. So it's like, I want to still have the little energy I have left to, you know, be able to give to him and just other family related, like family nights. I love to try to do Friday family nights. And it's just like, if I got to send these emails or, you know, whatever the task is, if someone else could just do it, especially during the work day, right? Because a lot of times I feel like if you're an entrepreneur and you're still working, you're working into the evening and the weekends. That could be stuff, like you said, if a virtual assistant can do those tasks for you during the day, it's like, okay, by 5 o'clock, everything is
done. Everything. And sometimes it's overwhelming coming up with so much for them to do at first. Even just hiring someone 5 to 10 hours a week just to do certain specific things to get that off of your plate, it starts opening your mind up of what more you can give them. But yeah, you're going to love it because it's going to just provide you so much more time with your son. If nothing else, it's just going to be a vibe for that reason alone.
Right. So let me ask you this. So going into, because one thing that I'm experiencing is just being like a startup and really just trying to figure things out. When did you know that, you know, it was time to add this automation when it came to hiring a virtual assistant?
Let's see. So I really, like I said, I really probably didn't know. I was going through hiring different people just in general. And then if you're familiar with Nehemiah Davis, who has, he's like one of the best entrepreneur coaches out there. I ended up joining his coaching circle, which is called Inner Circle, last year of October. and everybody that was successful in his group had virtual assistants. So here it is, we're online, you and I, we're online, and let's say we see him, and we're like, how is he doing this? How is he doing that? Oh my gosh, when does he sleep? Like the man is always on fire. And then you join his inner circle and you find out that he's delegating everything. He's not doing anything but showing up on live.
Right.
Like that's his job. Show up on live and get y'all to get into his course. But emails and planning and whatever else consists of his business, he is not doing it whatsoever. He would tell you, these are not my strengths. My strengths are getting the people together. So if he was that effective and he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire, young guy, I think he's younger than me. Hey, I'm going to do what you're doing, sir. And
working so smarter, not harder.
High functioning entrepreneurs in the room, that's what they were doing.
Right.
So it makes them it's like you and I, we feel like they're everywhere doing everything, this Superman, but they really have lots of help.
Right. No, and then that's the mindset of a boss, right? Like when you think about it, these CEOs and of these companies and things like you said, they have people that are doing these things for them. That's why they hire them to take off like the weaknesses, the things that they don't like to do. They know that's not their strength. And I think that's it, the mindset you have to have when it comes to having your own business. It's like, don't go in thinking small. You got to think big from the jump.
Yeah, they treat their business like corporations. They're thinking big, they playing big, they're hiring big, they're spending money, they're investing. So I joined that group to learn how to make more money online, but that group ended up teaching me how to save more money. So the money that I was hoping I would make online, I'm technically making it by the amount of money I've been able to save. Like one person at $15 an hour, now 3. So if that one person was scheduling 10 appointments, I got the same amount of money scheduling 30 appointments. So it's just been nothing but a blessing.
Yeah. See, I didn't even think about that. But that is definitely something, because I'm just thinking about expanding my team, because it's like, it's not enough time in the day for me to do all of these things that I want to get done. And you want to execute well. You don't want to just do something. So it's like, I got to get somebody on the team. But like you said, too, hiring in America versus a foreigner who, and I don't know how much people actually travel out there, but I'm a traveler and starting to do more of it this year with the pandemic passing. Well, I don't say passing, but slowing down. And our money goes a long way in a lot of places.
Listen, as a mother of a Black boy, I don't even want to raise him here. So like right now, I'm in North Carolina taking an options trading course because I need money that follows me. I really do not want my son to go to American schools. I want to travel the world, and I want to make my money here and use my money there, because like you said, it just goes so far. And I said that in a post today that I made, like, this is a time that like never before that you can create the life that you really want to live. Even if you have a 9-to-5, so many of them are switching over to virtual, that as long as you're getting your work done, it doesn't matter where you are. And I'd rather be in Bali working 9-to-5 all day, and then when I can clock out at 5 o'clock, head to the beach or head to wherever. That's still a wonderful life for me, even if I had to work your job. So just getting very unconventional and just out of what society have taught us, and just designing a life that looks how you want it to look unapologetically. Who cares if Brenda is doing that and Sarah is doing this? Me and mine is over here doing this, and I'm gone.
No, seriously. And even like you said, like the virtual, because I work from home. Now, one thing I didn't realize is that I can't work out of the country when I sign my contract, but that's all good.
I don't know where you at. You got to check in sometime.
So I work for an investment banking firm, and so they track your IP. And so I didn't realize that. I think I went to like Florida or something, which is fine in the States. It's just when you start getting out of the country that they're like, okay, ding, ding, ding. But they're so security, like locked down, which I get it. I mean, you're a leading investment banking firm. You got to make sure your stuff isn't just any and everywhere. So I get that part. But it was just like me going into this job, because I worked remotely prior to this one too. I would never go back into the office after having my child, because I do want at least another kid, and it gives you more flexibility. You know, like you said, I love to travel, so if I could just pick up my laptop and go, even if I'm working in corporate, like that's fine. And if it becomes a point where I'm like, okay, this ain't gonna work, I just need to be full-time entrepreneur so I can live the life I want to live. But it's like, it works now. But that work from home life, I mean, as a mom, it's like, this is amazing.
Listen, I love it. I love it. As long as he goes to daycare, it's effective for me. If he's not in daycare, I need to go to work. But even with those that are working virtual 9 to 5s, if they're not as security prone as yours, I even tell women or whoever wants to listen to me, bro, get you a virtual assistant to do your job. They're very smart. Like the $5 to $10 that we are paying them is a lot of money over there.
Right.
Normally that means they have a college degree and everything. Like these are very intelligent people. These aren't just high schoolers looking for a summer job. These are skilled workers who can do whatever you train them or teach them or tell them how to do. Most of them have experience from working for someone else. So they're very capable people.
So what are some places that the audience can find virtual assistants? Like, what are some of the places that you've tried out before?
So that's a good question. Realistically, right now, I'm actually in the process of building out my own firm. I've worked with some companies. What's one that I work with right now still with my sales team is Sales Kiwi. So if you're looking for sales people, Sales Kiwi is a good one. If you are looking for legal people, LegalSoft is a good one. Those are some companies that I currently work in. And then they're called like admin or executive admin type jobs. And those roles are pretty much clerical roles. So I was using some agencies, but I've recently started kind of just independently finding people. And you can do that from the agencies. Things kind of go south and you tell them you're not going to work with them anymore, and your people usually want to follow you. Upwork has a lot of freelancers that are looking for freelance work that you can then convert to long term. Fiverr is a good one.
I was just about to ask.
Yeah, so they're on there wanting one like job, but if you want to hire them and that proves they're going to get consistently $200 to $300 to $400 a month, they ready to work.
Because my the person who actually does like my video editing is from Fiverr, and I think she's might be in the Philippines. I don't know, but I know like she's like, well, I could do this, consistently. So I was like, she's done. I think this is the second season that she's done for me, and definitely making a couple hundred, a month. You
hire her for yourself, then you come get me and 10 other entrepreneurs who need video editing, and now you have a video editing business.
Let me think about that.
Now she's all yours, and they are paying for your work now. You're no longer paying for that out of pocket.
Look at that. Strategizing. Yes. So when you reach out to these people, so like for instance, I'll just use Fiverr since I'm familiar with that platform. So you know how they have their own they usually have their own pricing point, right? And then I guess if you talk to them, like my girl, we were able to work out a deal based on the continued work. So when you say you hire them, so they would be under your business name, right? So you're no longer like, I don't want to say using like Fiverr platform or theirs. Like you're just bringing them on as an actual employee of your business.
Yes.
What does that look like for someone that would be interested in doing that?
So it's really easy. On my team, I have some I pay via PayPal. I have some I pay via Wise. But yeah, you could just draw up a small contract saying this is what I need from you and this is what you agree to. This is the period of time we're going to be working. These are the skill sets I'm looking for and what I want you to do. And they're hired. Okay. It's really easy. It's just a decision.
Right.
Yeah. And then like even for me, I have one lady on my team right now. She's part-time because I just don't have enough work for her to do. So if you needed some help, hey, she don't care who the work come from. She just want to work 40 hours a week.
Right.
Right now she's working 20. So if I give her my work to do in the top half of the day and your work to do under my company the second half of the day, she just want that paycheck on Friday. She's fine.
Okay. Okay. So y'all
Mm-hmm.
hear this, ladies. This is
Yes.
how you can help scale your business and get some of those things off your plate, which is, I love that. I love delegation, even though it's sometimes hard for me personally, but just seeing it because, like you said, building the life you want to live. Like, I don't know anybody who doesn't want to live a luxurious life. I mean, I don't know, personally know anybody. So it's like, find ways to do it, smart ways to do it. But I love having conversations like these because it definitely opens your mind to things that you probably never thought of. I know when I tell people, I'm like, when they say they're looking for like independent people, I'm always like, you better look on Fiverr. Look on,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's because it's a lot of people on there that, like you
Yes.
said, are working for less than, and not to take away from anyone's business, because your business is your business, like here in America and stuff, and I get it. But it's like sometimes you may not be able to afford what someone is charging, or you simply just want to keep your money.
Right.
Which I don't think anything is wrong with that,
There
if
is
I'm one of
nothing,
those
absolutely
people.
nothing wrong with that. That's our keep as much of it as we can.
Right, absolutely.
That's a trip.
So
That extra money.
hell, that part
Yes.
exactly. And then for us moms, look, that's the kids stuff, whatever. Because I say all the time, once my son gets of age and he says, "Mom, I want to join this club, I want to do this," I don't never want to, unless it's something crazy. I never want to be able to say no. I'll never want to have to say no,
Right.
for financial reasons. So no, I love it. I love it. One thing I know you talk about, also in addition to your, I was about to say your law firm, but your accident firm, is your business funding. So you teach business funding as well. I've been to one of your classes online.
Yes.
So tell us about that. How are you able to? So you're teaching entrepreneurs how to get business funding, correct?
Yes. Correct. So it's another trend. Like it just caught wildfire over the last couple of years. And then one young lady who really hit the ground running with business credit, and she kept saying, "I'm new to this, and this is what you do, and this is what you do." And I'm like, people are teaching this? I've been getting business credit for over a decade. I have like longevity experience in this. So I wasn't planning on teaching business funding, but I saw the need and everyone was interested in it, and I really had the experience to match. So if I could just be of any assistance, I just, put my hat in the bucket. But it's really not as hard as people think it is. It's pretty much just starting out with those trade lines. Like, you're probably familiar with it. Lots of people talk about it. But just starting from scratch, just building out those trade lines with your U line, with your nav.com accounts, with your Quill accounts, and just having things report to your business credit profile, opening up
Mm-hmm.
your business bank account, applying for bank cards, just being strategic and doing something every month to make sure that
Right.
the ball is moving forward in your business credit. And literally, if you're just that consistent, like they've given money away. Like I have funding people call me every other day about giving me money, and sometimes the deals just aren't right. So like right now, the call I'm getting the most from different companies is they want to give me like $50,000, $75,000, but they want me to pay it back weekly. That's not bad if I have something immediately to do with the money. You get what I'm saying? So if I
Mm-hmm.
had a house that I wanted to invest in and I needed this money for a down payment, house might not even be a good idea. I need something that requires me to pay a lump sum of money, but I'm going to start seeing a return on that investment fast.
Right.
Because
Right
I don't
away.
want to be paying that bill back out of my money or the loan's money. So,
Exactly.
but if you want to crunch and you just need some money, we got money. You get what I'm saying? So
Right.
it just opens up different ways to never be broke again, basically. So I tell people, even if you don't, let's say, have a traditional business where you're performing a business, having a business just means you have an LLC, and everybody should have an LLC, even if it's just doing nothing. We're going to make a couple of transactions in that LLC. That's all you need to do to be a business. And we're going to build business credit with that LLC because you just never know. You may not want to do anything today in 2022. You might want to do something in 2030. So now that you've been building the history all this time, whenever you're ready to do whatever, you've already made the foundation. So I'm just an advocate on people, again, just working smart and not hard. Here in Georgia, it's $100 to get your LLC. Just make it a point to start building some business credit.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of like where I am in this point too. Like you said, like a traditional business. Because I think a lot of times when you think business, okay, businesses make money. And if you have like a non-traditional like me, where I'm not necessarily selling a product, like I have a journal, but that's just like a journal. You know what I mean? Like I'm not consistently dropping new products or selling a service necessarily. So it's like when you think business funding, in my experience anyway, has been a little challenging because it's like, well, where do you start if you're a startup business and you haven't necessarily got to the point where you're bringing in consistent revenue? Are you able to speak to that for anyone that's wondering?
Yeah, so even with your journal, that still needs to be passing through a business account, a business bank account. And that still needs to be passing through like PayPal or QuickBooks or something like that. So let's say you sell $1,000 worth of books a month. QuickBooks is going to see that and maybe offer you a $2,000 loan. Like even that small loan could be something that somebody may need. I know for sure at 36 years old, I still got homegirls living paycheck to paycheck. If they had a journal that is generating revenue, they can, what's the word I'm looking for? Have leverage off of that with the different processing companies that they work with. So you technically feel like you have to start from scratch when you really wouldn't have if you were using like PayPal. Like we have history there. We have transactions there. The transactions don't have to be $1 million transactions. They just need to be transactions. And so that would be an awesome place for you to start. And then those 3 trade lines that I was mentioning, those trade lines are for people who are starting from scratch. That means these lenders, these banks are never going to give you no money because you don't have a business profile set up. If you want them to give you some money, you got to set up your business profile. Here are 3 companies where you can go make purchases for your business and they will report to the credit bureau for you. So now that you're using those 3 companies and those 3 companies are showing up, when you go back to Wells Fargo, where your business bank account is, Wells Fargo is going to say, well, you do have 3 companies that trusted you so far and your rating looks good. And here on your credit report, I can see you've been paying them back. We'll take a risk on giving you a business credit card or a business credit loan. So for those who want to know where to start, that's where you have to start. If you have good credit, then you can possibly, because then you'll be your own co-signer basically. Then with excellent credit, well, not even excellent, 680 to 700 is like the range you want to be. If you have no business credit and you want to get some without doing the preliminary work, because those 3 companies that I just named, you do have to spend money. So you have to spend like $100 with each one of those companies for them to report the trade. So that's $300 minimum for the next 3 to 6 months to get your profile up. So if you already had good credit, you could skip that and just say, hey, Wells Fargo, I know I'm a new business owner, but my personal credit backs me up.
Right.
And then you can get the card that way.
Gotcha. Well, good to know, because I definitely, and those are the 3 that I've heard about continuously as well, which I did start a line with Uline. So it's just trying to think like, okay, what can I use? Even though, I mean, they got like household products and, things like that. So I'm like, yeah, I won't run out of toilet paper for the next few months, but
toilet paper, dish detergent, washing supplies. If you need a new mop, they have so much stuff on there.
Right.
Paper towels, paper plates, cups. Because I don't like to wash dishes, so I keep me some paper plates around. That's a part of my automation.
Right. That is so funny, because I was literally telling my boyfriend, I was washing dishes. I said, get the paper plate. Don't bring anything else out.
Wait for them to use paper pots, honey, because that is a part of my automation of life. We done ate, it goes to the trash. No dishes to be washed. We have saved time. Ain't God good?
Exactly, because who's trying to wash dishes after a long day?
Not me. Not me.
At all. Well, I appreciate you coming in to just share with us how you're living a life of luxury with your king and running your businesses in a smart way. So if there's any last minute advice that you would want to tell a mom that is an entrepreneur on just how to live this life of luxury and how to even jump into it if they're, kind of fearful of doing certain things that you discussed tonight.
Yes, this is what I want to leave with you all. Success leaves clues and success loves speed. So everything you heard tonight, use it. Don't hear this call and sit on the information. Start applying it. Start looking into your virtual assistants. You can't afford to not have a virtual assistant. We'll do it. You can come to me for a virtual assistant, but I'm going to add my tax to it, which is still cheap, but you got to pay me too. You can get on the internet and find you a virtual assistant for $2 to $3 an hour, literally. For 40 hours a week, $2 an hour if you do the research. You cannot afford to not do that. That's 40 hours worth of work someone can do for you and do it well. We dropped some business credit gems. If you haven't started, even Ashley, she said she heard those three names continuously while we're not on it. Get on it, y'all. When y'all hear the information, act. And then whatever you want to do, you can definitely do it. Finding the ways to get others to do it for you and creating those systems will help you get there faster. And whenever you feel afraid, do it anyway.
That's right. And let them know how they can find you and any services that you're offering or that you offer within the business. Let them know how they can sign up or purchase those as well.
Yes, guys. So please, I'm most active on Instagram at the Blessin Attitudes or the Blessin Attitudes. It's also my name tag tonight, the Blessin Attitudes. What I really want to start focusing on is growing my referral business. So if you all know anyone in an accident, you can shoot me a DM or you can call 888-7-MONEY-8, 888-7-MONEY-8. We'll take care of them, obviously, but we also do pay up to $500 for any referrals that you send our way. Business credit, if you guys need some help with business credit, I do have a program that will walk you through every single step and guarantee you $50,000 in funding by completing the program. So those are the most effective ways that I can help you. Also, if you need a virtual assistant, I can help you with that as well.
Love it. Well, thank you again for joining us tonight. And I'll definitely drop your links in the show notes so they can easily access what you just mentioned. So I appreciate it. And before we jump, ladies, as I always say, stay bossy and stay motivated. And I'll see you all next time. Hey, ladies, if you enjoyed today's episode, do me a favor and leave a 5-star rating and review. You can find the Bawse Mom Movement streaming on Apple and Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube. Want to keep up with the movement? Visit my website at thebawsemommovement.com and subscribe. Thanks for the support, and I'll see you next time.